Western alphabet YHWH, which I translate as the interbreathing spirit of the world, was seen by Abraham, in the oaks of Mamre as he was sitting at the entrance to his tent in the heat of the day. First, let me say, in the oaks of Mamre is unconventional but totally reasonable translation. Most translators say by the oaks because they want to point to those three men who were about to appear as messengers of God, making God visible. And they're uncomfortable with the notion that God may be visible in the trees, the forest itself. But most of the time in the Bible, B means in. B, Elone Mamre. How could God be visible in that forest? If Yah, Yud He Vav He, YHWH is simply the breath of life, pronounced Yud He Vav He as the wind of change, the spirit of the world, then the rustling of leaves in that forest of oaks, leaves blown by the wind, would make visible the wind that is about to change the life of Abraham and Sarah and the world. Secondly, at last, in our own generation, the scientists have taught us, and perhaps long, long ago, wise human beings knew the deep truth. The trees use chemicals to communicate with each other, that they help each other when some of them are in danger, that they breathe out the oxygen we need to breathe in, and they breathe in the CO2 that we breathe out. When in a later book of the Bible, Deuteronomy, chapter 20, verse 19, the Torah asks, are the trees of the field human? We thought the question was sort of tongue in cheek, and that the answer was obviously no. But perhaps if being human means communicating wisdom across generations, the answer is obviously yes, the trees are human. You might check a novel by Richard Powers, a very insightful novel called The Overstory. As for me, I've several times led prayer circles where I've invited people as part of the service to visit a tree and listen to it breathe, then listen with care to the tree's own prayer, and then come back to the community of officially human beings and share the tree's prayer. When a dozen or so people actually do this, the prayers are so diverse, so each one unique, as you might imagine, and they're all profoundly spiritual. Finally, how many of us have seen God become visible in a forest, a river, a bird, a cloud of fireflies? It's time for us to welcome these bearers of life into the minyan, the quorum that makes prayer possible. Indeed, there couldn't be any minyan at all without these living beings. I'm Arthur Wasko. I'm director of the Shalom Center, the author of a new book called Dancing in God's Earthquake, the Coming Transformation of Religion. I think seeing God in the trees and in all of the life forms of our planet is one of those transformations of religion. Shalom, salam, paz, peace, namaste, a transformation to say all of those in honor of the one who is the breath of all life.